Hey guys, what's up? It's JRCuber. In this video, I'm going to be checking out all 7 of the new GES V2 Nuts on the new Gan 356 Air SM. So the Gan elasticity system was something that I never really checked out much when using the original Air or the Air UM. I basically just went with whatever nuts came with the cube, usually yellow or clear, but I decided that I should really get a better understanding on how these springs can affect the puzzle, so that is what we're going to be looking at in this video. So there are 7 different color springs ranging in stiffness, so some springs are going to be more rigid than others. So starting from least rigid to most rigid, we have purple, blue, green, yellow, clear, orange, and red. I did an average of 12 on the SM with each of these colors, and I kept the tensions even between the spring swaps, so the only thing that was changing was the actual stiffness of the springs. Before we get started, I just want to say that these are just some of my general thoughts that I had when using each color GES nut. There are some general recommendations that I can give about which nuts are better for certain types of cubers, but I would implore you to experiment just like I did to find which combination you like the best. So with that, let's go ahead and look at the purple GES nut first. The purple springs are the most soft or the least rigid, which means that they will give the cube the most amount of flex. Turning was incredibly quick and almost uncontrollable when using these. I noticed that my fingers were sometimes getting caught in between the layers because of how much the cube was flexing. I was forced to slow down my turning a bit and turn more cautiously, which didn't give me a very reassuring feeling when using the cube. Overall, it just gave the puzzle a very flimsy, wobbly feeling that I just didn't really like. Next up was blue. These were the springs that the cube came installed with, so I was already somewhat used to them. With these nuts, turning is a bit more controllable, but the cube is still very flexible, not quite as wobbly though. I also noticed that as the springs got stiffer, the magnets also felt a little bit stronger as well. This is because the stiffer springs make the cube feel tighter and the pieces feel closer together. So while these are better than the purple nuts, the blue nuts were still a bit too soft for me. As I moved on to the green nuts, I felt this effect even more. The puzzle became more controllable, just a tad slower and more stable. The magnets felt just a bit stronger, but I was still able to turn very quickly and effortlessly. The green nuts are really awesome if you want a more flexy cube but still want to stay in control. The yellow nuts are the ones currently in my Pro Shop SM, and since these springs fall right in the middle of the lineup, they will give you the best balance between flexibility and rigidity. The puzzle is still plenty fast and performance is still solid when using these, and you get a very sturdy feeling that doesn't feel too overbearing, so you still feel in complete control over the puzzle. The main problem I had with the lighter nuts was that they made the cube too uncontrollable, which made me hesitate in increasing my TPS and executing algorithms as fast as I could, which of course is pretty bad. The yellow nuts, however, gave me the greatest sense of control over my turning. For that reason, they are my favorite of the 7 and will be staying in my Pro Shop SM. Moving on to the clear nuts, I began to feel a slight decline in performance. The magnets felt a tad too strong and the puzzle started to lock up just a bit. At this point, rigidity overshadowed fluidity, and the puzzle began to feel too harsh in its turning. Then there was quite a big jump moving to orange. Even though the tensions were exactly the same as every other color, the orange nuts made the cube just feel pretty slow and more of a burden to turn. The cube felt overly clicky and turns didn't really flow smoothly from one to the next. I will say that the cube was very controllable and incredibly stable, so if that's what you're looking for, maybe check out the orange nuts. And then finally we have the red nuts, which were basically the complete opposite of the purple nuts. So at this point the cube was quite slow, and although it was really stable, just not that fun to use. Funnily enough, I did get a couple sub-10s when solving with the reds, which were my only sub-10s during the entire test, although I can't say that was because I was using those springs. Overall, after my fairly brief testing with every color nut, I've come to just a pretty general conclusion that the middle 3 colors here are going to be your safest option. So that's going to be green, yellow, and clear. The other 4 outliers just seem to give the cube too extreme of a feeling, whether it be flexibility or rigidity. However, many people do use more of these colors, considering that the UM shipped with the purple springs and the SM is shipping with the blue springs. So I'm not saying that green, yellow, and clear are definitely the best ones. Those were just the ones that I personally personally liked the most. So the green was nice for a bit more of a flexy feel, the clear for more of a sturdy feel, with the yellow striking a nice balance between the two. Doing this experiment has made me more curious, however, as to what color all of you guys use, so there will be a straw poll in the description, so go vote on which color you guys personally prefer of these 7. I'm really curious to see the results on this one. Just from what I have been able to tell in the community, people seem to prefer the yellow and the clear ones the most, but that might just be my selective hearing, so I'm really interested to see what you guys prefer. Also, if you were curious about how my average times compared between the different nuts, here were all of my averages. Of course, this doesn't convey really at all which one is subjectively faster, but it's still pretty interesting to see how the averages compare. Anyways, that's about it for this quick video comparing all 7 Gan GES nuts in the newly released Gan Air SM. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like. Links to all of my social media pages, my Patreon, and my merch store are all linked down in the description below as always. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.